Every September, the vineyards of Nemea come alive with celebration. A region known since antiquity for its legendary Agiorgitiko grape, Nemea opens its cellars and hearts to welcome visitors from all over the world. Here, wine is more than a drink. It's a story of land, tradition, and passion poured into every glass. With each sip, you taste not only the richness of the soil, but also centuries of history that shaped this land.
The minerality is great. It's very refreshing and crisp. And the perfect view, don't you think?
If you're new to this channel, my name is Elena, and my goal is to help you eat well, travel better, and learn some history along the way. Our morning began in a place of peace and wonder, the Monastery of the Holy Virgin of the Rock, just outside Nemea. Built into the eastern face of Polyfeggos Rock, the slate Byzantine monastery feels almost suspended between heaven and earth. Long before the monastery stood here, the rock itself was a fortress. In medieval times, Polyfeggos guarded the narrow entrance to Nemea. The ruins of houses, a reservoir, and even parts of the fortress wall still whisper stories of those who once lived and defended this place. Local tradition tells of a miraculous boy Leo who once fell from the rock and survived unharmed. In his memory, the Catholicon was built, becoming the heart of the monastery. Over the centuries, this holy place stood as both a refuge and a symbol of resilience, contributing to the Greek War of Independence and sheltering its community through turbulent times. Step inside and you'll find yourself in a cave church where stone, faith, and art meet. The walls are adorned with remarkable frescoes, some dating back as far as the 11th and 12th centuries. Among them, the presentation of Christ and the figure of Saint George still shine through centuries of time, despite the smoke, humidity, and even vandalism. The view from here is absolutely breathtaking. The valley below unfolds like a painted canvas, dotted with vineyards that remind us of Nemea's eternal bond with both spirit and soil. Up next, we continued the journey into the celebrations of the Great Days of Nemea with our first stop at the Gofas estate. The Gofas family has been cultivating vineyards for generations, their story stretching back in time. In 1959, they began pressing wine in their family home in Nemea using a simple linen press. What started as a humble tradition has now grown into a modern winery that honors the past while embracing the future. Today, under the guidance of Konstantinos Gofas, the estate has been modernized with new machinery, innovative viticultural techniques, and careful vineyard management. The private vineyards, spanning 80 acres across Koutsi, Daphne, and Paliochori, are nurtured with a deep respect for the microclimate and soil of each plot. This attention to detail ensures that every grape reaches its highest potential. Here, Agiorgitiko, Malagousia, Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, and Sauvignon Gris thrive, creating wines that are both rooted in Greek tradition and elevated to international standards. The estate now produces around 80,000 bottles each year, 80% of which find their way to tables across America, Europe, and Asia.
Από όπου πήρε και το όνομα περιοχή. Mythic River White, μαλακουζιά 100%, φρέσκο δεξαμενής. Έχει υπάρξει μια παραμονή με τις φίνες συνολάσπες.
From Nemea, we're in the heart of one of the oldest wine regions in the world. So today, actually this weekend, it's the Great Days of Nemea, an annual event where all the wineries come together to host visitors and to showcase their wines. We're now at the Gofas estate and trying their fantastic wines. This is Kidonitsa, and the wine is called Day and Night. You can smell the freshness and the stone fruit. Wonderful, crisp. I like it.
The Gofas estate is proudly a member of the Association of Wine Growers of the Peloponnese and the PDO Nemea winemakers. Visitors are invited to taste the full range of wines and perhaps even discover rare vintages no longer found on the market. Up next, we headed to Zacharias Winery. Set on the slopes around the village of Leondio, this family's 40 hectares of vineyards stretch across this blessed land of Nemea. Here, 13 different grape varieties are cultivated, from the celebrated Agiorgitiko, Assyrtiko, and Moscofilero to cosmopolitan classics like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Chardonnay, and Syrah. Each vine is nurtured with respect for both nature and tradition, producing wines of exceptional quality. During the Great Days of Nemea, wineries across the region host a series of events and masterclasses, opening their doors for visitors to deepen their knowledge of wine. We joined a special session dedicated to the reds, where we explored how the same wine evolves when bottled in different sizes, from a regular 750 ml bottle to a magnum and even a 3-liter format. It was fascinating to taste 3 wines in 8 different bottle sizes, discovering how the aging process and flavor profiles shift depending on the volume. Experiences like this highlight the unique character of Nemea's wines, while giving visitors the chance to taste, learn, and connect more deeply with the craft of winemaking. We then arrived in the town of Nemea. This land is steeped in myth. It was here that Hercules completed his famous feat of slaying the Nemean lion. Legend also tells us that the son of Dionysus, the god of wine, once ruled here and founded the city of Phlius.
So we just got to the Wine Federation of Nemea, and they have an exhibition of about 40 different labels of wines, and we're gonna try them now. So let's go.
In Nemea today, tradition continues through the PDO Nemea winemakers, who work together to preserve quality and showcase the excellence of this historic wine region. During the Great Days of Nemea, the PDO winemakers space in town opens its doors to the public. Here, visitors can discover the collective spirit of the region, tasting wines, learning about the diversity of local terroirs, and connecting with the winemakers who carry on this ancient craft.
That's a good one. Πολύ ωραίο αυτό. Είναι πολύ ωραίο.
And since we were here, we also decided to visit the place of history, Ancient Nemea. Walking the site today, you encounter the magnificent Temple of Zeus, built in the 4th century BC. Its towering columns, nearly 10 meters high, still rise above the valley. Though most of the 36 columns were lost over time, restoration has brought part of the temple back to life, allowing us to imagine its ancient glory.
Ancient Nemea, this is the Temple of Zeus, and this was the place where Nemean Games were held every 2 years in honor of Zeus. It's pretty well maintained, but it used to be bigger, obviously, like all the archaeological sites in Greece. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below.
Nemea is also tied to another ancient story, when 7 generals stopped here on their way to Thebes, and nurse left the infant prince Opheltes in his cradle to fetch them water. Tragically, the baby was bitten by a serpent and killed. To honor him and to appease the gods, the generals founded the Nemean Games. Victors were crowned not with olive or laurel, but with wreaths of wild celery, the same material as the child's crib. Inside the archaeological museum found on site, artifacts tell the story of daily life, ritual, and sport in Nemea's long history. And finally, nearby you'll find the stadium, built in the late 4th century BC. It could hold up to 40,000 spectators, who once gathered to witness athletes compete in honor of the gods. Standing here, surrounded by Arcadian hills, you can almost hear the echo of cheering crowds carried by the wind.
This is where the athletes would come from and run towards the stadium. How cool is that?
If you love wine, then Nemea is a destination you simply can't miss. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next adventure.